Welcome to the series of Renga lessons for beginners. Lesson 10, Assemblies. In this lesson, we will study, work with the Assembly tool and the Assembly Style tab, assigning properties to assemblies, and the disassemble action. The Assembly tool is intended to insert a group of objects created in the Assembly Style tab into a model. It allows users to work with an inserted group as a single object. In the Quick Start course, we have already covered the basic tools for working with assemblies. Watch the Quick Start course lesson 4 first. In this video, we will take a detailed look at working with assemblies using the example of the 3D model of an industrial workshop. The model we are considering already contains assemblies that combine elements of metal structures. To open any created assembly for viewing and editing, do the following. Right-click the assembly on the 3D view. On the shortcut menu, click Open. We were taken to a separate tab called Assembly Style. This is where assemblies are created with the help of tools for modeling and actions. If you make changes to the assembly style after opening it, all the performed changes will be applied to the related assemblies. To demonstrate this, we divide the screen into two parts. In the 3D view, we select all assemblies named Truss Type 1 and isolate them. Then we change the geometry of this assembly in the Assembly Style tab. All changes were instantly reflected in the model. Now let's create a new assembly. We will create it to combine metal structures into columns that are to be installed in auxiliary premises. To create the new assembly style, open the Project Explorer. Click the Create New Assembly Style button and set the assembly style name Column Type 4. To generate the assembly style, use a set of tools and actions in a special tool panel. We select the column tool on the toolbar and specify its parameters. Now let's place the column in the assembly style space. Before placing the column, don't forget to set the appropriate measure mode. Repeat the steps and add one more element plate to the new style. You may insert in the assembly style space objects copied from the 3D view. When you insert objects copied from the 3D view, only those objects will be inserted into the assembly style that are included in the assembly style tools and were on the same, lower, level. It is also possible to copy objects from another project. We looked at this option in the Quick Start course. Another option for creating an assembly style is to insert an existing assembly into the created assembly style. On the toolbar, you can select the assembly tool and choose the required assembly from the list of existing assemblies. Let's select Unit 6 and set the parameters. Next, we install it in the design position. If needed, it is possible to convert the inserted assembly to individual objects. For that, use the disassemble action. If the nutation parameter is set, the disassemble action will not be available. Now we place the ready-made assembly in the auxiliary premises of the industrial building. To insert the assembly into the model, select the assembly tool and specify the following parameters. Assembly position relative to axis. Each option on the drop-down list shows how the bounding box of assembly will be located relative to the insertion point on the levels plan or 3D view. Assembly horizontal offset or x-axis offset relative to insertion point of assembly. Assembly vertical offset or y-axis offset relative to insertion point of assembly. Assembly style. Rotation angles. Level. It determines the assembly level. Vertical offset. It determines the vertical offset of an assembly relatively to the insertion point. Mark. It displays the value that was set when generating the assembly style. Then select the assembly insertion points. By default, the assembly will be located relative to the axis on the working plane in the same way as it is relative to the origin in the Assembly Style tab. All parameters can be changed during the construction process and when editing the assembly in the model. You can also use the disassemble action in 3D view. When working with Renga model, we can assign properties to assemblies and assembly styles. In order to create a property for assemblies or assembly styles, select the Manage Styles section subsection Object Properties on the primary panel. Let's find the type of objects assemblies. Now we add properties notes, weight and deliverable assemblies with the Boolean data type. For assembly styles, we add properties material and designation. Finally, we fill in the properties we have added for the assembly styles and for the assembly instances located in the model. To assign properties to the assembly style, in Assembly Style tab, right-click to open context menu. Select the Properties command. Type a value in the value text box. Click OK. To assign properties to the assembly instances located in the model, select any assembly in the 3D view and use the right mouse button to go to the corresponding menu. Then add the required information. This is the end of the 10th lesson. To learn more, watch the video basic course. Lesson 11, Schedules.